you're here. Yeah, we're so glad you're here. Oh, we're so glad to be together in unity. We're so glad you're here. So that's what happens when James does the talk by himself. Can you believe that she left me alone to do this? Wow. So welcome home, everybody. Let's say it together. Welcome home. Absolutely. So what are we talking about today? Since I can't ask Leah, I guess I'll have to figure it out for myself. We're going to talk about the spiritual journey from separation to sacred connection. A metaphysical lesson today on relationships, growth, and conscious love. How many understand there's a difference between conscious love and unconscious love? If you know that, say yes. Yes. And we're using the movie When Harry Met Sally. All right, that's what we're doing, a metaphysical interpretation of that this morning. So we want to explore that movie a little bit. You know, on the surface, when you watch it, you think, oh, it's just some rom-com. It's a romantic comedy, you know. But underneath there is some profound spiritual wisdom. Profound spiritual wisdom. And so one of the nice things about it is that there's a lot of comedy in it. You know, how many know that life can be fun and sometimes life is funny, right? So truth shows up many times in unexpected places. It shows up in Scripture. It shows up in prayer. It shows up in nature. And sometimes it shows up in a deli in New York where someone says, I'll have what she's having. All right? So the reason this film has endured for decades, it's because it speaks to something that's universal. It isn't about romance, really. It's about two people becoming capable of an authentic relationship. And that journey is deeply spiritual, isn't it? Because every relationship, whether it be friendship, marriage, family, co-workers, even our relationship with divinity, is ultimately teaching us something about ourselves. How many know it's all about you? Repeat after me. I knew that. Relationships are not interruptions to our spiritual growth. Relations are truly about spiritual growth. Makes you want to scratch your head, doesn't it? Think about it. And this is a big spiritual idea, okay? One of the most important things that Unity teaches that the outer world reflects the inner world. The outer world reflects our inner world. Charles Fillmore wrote, "The mind is the formative power. Our experiences often mirror our consciousness." Whatever your consciousness is, your experiences will mirror that back to you. Say, this is what you believe. Say with me, ooh. Okay. So what if relationships work the same way? What if every relationship is a mirror reflecting your beliefs, your fears, your expectations, and possibilities? Then the purpose of a relationship is not just about companionship. A relationship is about transformation. It really is. And that's exactly what happened to Harry and Sally. So let's talk about stage one, separation consciousness. Harry says, well, men and women can't be friends because the sex part gets in the way. So We're not going to talk about whether he's right or wrong, but let's look at it metaphysically. Harry begins the movie living in what we in Unity call separation consciousness. He has already decided how life works. How many already have it figured out? Raise your hand. He has conclusions, assumptions, and lots of protective walls. He expects disappointment before it even arrives. How many of us have done that? Maybe not in a romance, but somewhere we've done it. Maybe we've said to ourselves, oh, people always let me down. Nobody appreciates me. Nothing ever changes. Relationships are hard. You ever think like that? You ever notice how quick the mind is to create a story about something? You know, the mind becomes like a lawyer trying to win a case. It will ignore everything that contradicts its already dearly held beliefs. Right? Here's an example. A woman once said, "My husband never listens." So I asked her, "Has he ever listened?" And she thought for a moment and said, "Well, yes, but that doesn't count." How many know that's how the ego works? The ego edits reality. Did you know that your ego is an editor? It edits everything. It filters out everything in order to keep things the same. Because we don't want anybody changing anything, right? But how many know you live in the wrong universe for that? So here's a good spiritual practice. Ask yourself, what story am I bringing into this relationship? Whatever the relationship is. What stories am I bringing into it? Because oftentimes we aren't really relating to people. We're relating to our assumptions about people. Now that was really good. Did you hear what I said? We aren't really relating to people. We're relating to our assumptions about them. That's stage one. Here's stage two. Looking for completion. Harry and Sally both spent years dating other people. And each relationship carries a subtle hope. This person will finally make me happy. It's one of our greatest and favorite myths. If I could just find my soulmate, that one person to make me happy. It's called the completion myth. You complete me, as they say in many rom-coms. How many know that's a myth? Hollywood loves it. Unity, we don't teach it, right? Because it's not you that completes me. In Unity, we say you're already complete. Say it with me. I am complete. You were complete before the relationship. You'll be complete during the relationship. And you'll be complete after the relationship. Now, somebody should say amen for that. That's pretty good stuff. You're here on a good day, let me just say. But relationships don't create wholeness. They just reveal where wholeness already exists. See, we're so used to looking at the negative side of everything. Look at the negative side. Oh, well, they're not doing this, they're not doing that, and I'm not getting what I need, and we're approaching it in totally the wrong perception. I am already complete. Isn't that great? A lot of people have an empty bucket problem. I want you to imagine two people carrying empty buckets. Each approaches the other saying, please fill my bucket. But soon they get frustrated, exhausted, disappointed. Why? Because neither person is connected to their own source. Now, imagine two people connected to an inner well of spirit, and their cup is overflowing. Their buckets are overflowing. The relationship becomes a sharing instead of a demanding kind of thing. Isn't it amazing how we demand everybody do for us what we refuse to do for ourselves? Boy, that was a mouthful. I don't think I've ever said that before. That's pretty good. So, it's giving instead of bargaining. That's a spiritual partnership. That's what we're talking about, is spiritual partnership. A spiritual partnership. What is a relationship? It's two people relating together in the same ship. Right? Myrtle Fillmore said, I am a child of God, therefore I do not inherit sickness. But I want to paraphrase that this morning. I am a child of God, therefore I do not inherit incompleteness. How do you like that? You are already enough. You're already enough. You have everything within you to be happy, to be successful, to be whoever you want to be, right? It's already in you. Stage 3 is friendship and authenticity. One of the most beautiful things in the movie happens almost accidentally. Harry and Sally stop trying to impress each other, and they become friends. You know, when you first meet somebody, it's like, I'm here to impress you. And you say the dumbest things. You know, come here often. They become friends. They become friends, which may possibly be the most spiritually important stage in a relationship, is friendship. Because what happens in friendship, the mask starts to fall away. Their performance fades, and the real person starts to emerge. Let's take a breath of that. See, there's a great human hunger. People think they want approval, but what they actually want is acceptance. Right? How many know there's a huge difference in approval and acceptance? Approval says, I like you because you're meeting my expectations. Acceptance says, I see you and I value you. I see you and I find value in you, right? The soul craves acceptance. The ego craves approval. Am I doing this right, Mom? Are my grades where they should be, Dad? Do you still love me if I get a B plus or a C minus? What if I fail? Do you still love me? Do you still accept me? You understand? How many know the most important thing you can give to another human being is unconditional love? That's the most important gift that you can give to somebody else. But you have to develop it within yourself first. Right? You have to be gentle with yourself. I know I spend more and more time in the quiet just being gentle with myself. Not thinking about, oh, it should be this way. I wish it was that way. I wish this wasn't. I wish that was. It's like I don't want to get in that feeling, that experience, that vibration, because it doesn't do me any good. And it doesn't do anybody else any good, right? A couple was celebrating 50 years of marriage, and they were asked, "What is your secret?" And the husband replied, "Early on, I made a list of 10 things that I would overlook." And the interviewer asked, "What were the 10 things?" He said, "I never actually made the list." He said, "Every time she did something that annoyed me, I simply said, there goes one of the 10. Now that's a real spiritual practice. Right? See, people can only annoy you if you allow it to happen. Take a breath. Can you be that self-empowered? Can you? Shake your head yes and say, yes, I can. So authenticity is what creates intimacy. The word intimacy is often described as, into me, I see. Right? The more authentic we become, the deeper the connection becomes possible. Not because we become perfect. How many know what perfect is? Anybody here? I don't have a clue. Because one person, it's one thing, somebody else is something else. Who knows what it is? I don't know. But it's not about becoming perfect. It's about being real. It's about being real. I mean, no, you can't grow until you get real. Where are you now? What are you feeling right now? What's going on now? That's where you grow from. From the present moment, right? So, stage 4. Relationships are mirrors. This is where things get really interesting and uncomfortable. Because eventually, every significant relationship begins revealing your unfinished business. Whoa. Anybody here love hearing about your unfinished business? What do you mean I didn't finish that? I didn't have time, and I'm going to do it tomorrow or whatever. Unfinished business. A lot of people wait till right before they die, to make amends. Wouldn't it be something? Wouldn't it be something that if you chose to go to the people right now that you need to apologize to, that you need to make amends with, and do it now? Would you like to get ahead of the game? How many know that forgiveness is always now? There is no future forgiveness. As a matter of fact, there's no future without forgiveness. Right? So a relationship becomes a mirror. And many times a relationship might reveal abandonment fears, trust issues, control patterns. I know we don't have any control people here, do we? No. That's not your issue. Your issue is that you're just too sweet. Isn't that true? Tell the person next to you, you're just too sweet. What about insecurity? Ooh. See, what we do is we're insecure and we project that onto other people. How come you're not making me feel secure? Because I can't. I can create an atmosphere. That's what we're doing here, is we're creating an atmosphere, an environment for people to feel safe, but you're the one that has to decide that I am safe. I'm safe to be around. I'm safe to be in a relationship. And also, the mirror reveals unrealistic expectations. You can hear it in your voice sometimes. I've heard it in my voice. Well, I think it ought to be this way. Sound like John Wayne there for a minute. I think it ought to be this way or that way. Well, our first reaction is often the problem, of course, is them. Right? But spiritual maturity asks a different question. What is this relationship teaching me, showing me about myself? It's like we look at people and say, they always leave me. And because they always leave me, I'm going to leave first. It doesn't make any sense, does it, when you really think it through? Sometimes we push people away with our expectations, with our frustrations, with our neediness, you know? I've been needy. You ever been needy? Needy is closely related to greedy. If my needs aren't met, nobody's happy, right? So there's this divine mirror all around us. How many know that you live in a house of mirrors? Imagine looking in the mirror and you discover that there's spinach in your teeth. How many attacked the mirror because it showed you that you had spinach in your teeth? Anybody here? No. Might be good to just thank the mirror. Thank you. Sometimes I thank Leah for bringing out my frustrations, for bringing out my fears. Thank you. Thank you. Right? See, relationships are mirrors, aren't they? They really are. And sometimes annoying mirrors. Oh, man. Sometimes the mirrors leave socks on the floor. Don't you hate that? Been there, done that? Don't want the t-shirt. But they're still mirrors. They're mirrors. If there's socks on the floor, it's just because it's reflecting back to me, right? Something. You know, here's something, a beautiful paragraph or just a sentence from the Course in Miracles, which is one of the lessons it teaches. It says, every relationship is a lesson God would have me learn. Every relationship is a lesson God would have me learn. Every, say with me, every. Every. Does every mean all? Every means what? All means, right? It's not a punishment. It's not failure. It is a lesson. Right? We're in a classroom. Welcome to Life 101. That's where you're living right now. And what is it? It's an opportunity for growth. That's what every relationship is, an opportunity for growth. You can make a few changes. I mean, no, you don't have to be perfect at it. That's not what we're saying this morning. You're going to stumble, you're going to fall, you're going to sometimes crawl your way toward the light. Sometimes. You know what I mean? Maybe. Whatever it takes. But just understand that it's all a lesson. That's what it is. I'm in school. Welcome to Earth, the Earth School. Stage 5, the sacred conflict. Many people believe conflict means something is wrong. Spiritually, conflict often means that growth is occurring. Can you see it that way? Instead of it's horrible, it's bad, there's so much conflict in the world right now. There's a lot of growth going on. Because what conflict brings up is all your stuff. It brings it up. So what? You have to look at it. You have to peer into the mirror and let it reflect back to you. Yeah, but you don't understand, James. It's their fault. It's they. It's them. It's that one. It's that one. Well, wait a minute. You may be right, but that's not the lesson you're here to learn. My lesson is not to learn about the mistakes that you made and how you're not working on them. You're not changing them. I'm here to learn about myself, my lessons. What am I learning from that, from the conflict? Because there's always conflict. Conflict is just one of the symptoms of the potential of spiritual growth. You get it? So, growth happens when muscles encounter resistance. You know, when you work out, you know what happens? You tear your muscles. And then they repair themselves, and they're a little bigger. They're a little stronger. Right? So what does conflict do? Makes you stronger. It enlarges your capacity to be bigger, better, stronger. Say with me, wow. Yeah. Relationships grow through conscious engagement with the differences. How can you reframe conflict a little bit so you can see it differently? How many know when you can see it differently, you can handle it better? If right now you're saying to yourself, I can't handle this anymore, it's just too much, then you need to change your perception and figure out a way to deal with it so it's not hurting you, so that you're not overwhelming yourself with it. Does that make sense? Is this okay this morning? This is When Harry Met Sally. This is all from the movie. You say, well, I need to go watch that movie. And maybe you do. Instead of asking who's right, you might ask, what is trying to be birthed in me? What new thing wants to be birthed? Instead of, how do I win? Ask, what wants to heal? Would you rather win the argument or heal. Heal the wound that maybe you've been carrying since you were 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 30, right? Would you rather heal or would you rather be right? Good question, huh? This single shift can transform any relationship. If you hear what we're talking about today, and listen to Harry and Sally. After years of marriage, one couple told me, "We no longer argue." And I said, "Really?" The husband said, "No. Now she explains why she's right, and I listen." And the wife smiled and said, "See? Progress." Stage 6. We're almost done. Eventually, Harry and Sally separate, and there's distance between them. Confusion enters. Loss shows up. Why? Because sometimes we don't recognize what we have until we step away from it. Spiritual traditions often call this the dark night. And you thought that was Batman, didn't you? It's a spiritual experience that happens to people, to many of us. It's a period where the old patterns begin to collapse. And a time when something breaks apart. And then clarity emerges. It's not punishment. It's really preparation. Because what distance reveals oftentimes is what really matters. What really matters? What's really essential? How many know there's a list of things? You can make a list of all the things that really don't matter. James, I don't care if you wear that t-shirt with the mustard stain and the holes in it when you're at home and nobody's around. I'm just making it up. I don't do that. I always walk around perfectly clean, looking sharp, and being cool. Yeah, really. What's really essential and what is merely habit? You know what a habit is? It's something you've done before many times. Many people discover what they truly wanted was already there. They just couldn't see it. If there's someone in your life, they're there for a reason. How many know that people, they're not there just to bug you? I know we think that. You know, some people live their life, they're bored. And then they live their whole life, they're bugged. And then finally they're buried. Born, bugged, buried. You see it on a tombstone, right? I was annoyed the whole time. Who's that guy? Larry David? You know, he's always annoyed. Stage 7. Conscious love. Say with me. Conscious love. Isn't that beautiful? Just saying the words. There's something sacred there. Near the end of the movie, Harry rushes to find Sally on New Year's Eve. His speech is very touching. because he names specific things. Not fantasy, not projection, but reality. He loves her quirks. Used to annoy him. But when she's not around, I miss those quirks, right? I miss those little habits. I miss her humanity. You understand? See, this is the difference between immature and mature love. See, love blossoms like those beautiful flowers that Alice and Jay provided for us. Aren't they beautiful? Direct from their yard. Right? Glorious. And what do flowers represent? They represent beauty. They represent unconditional love. I am just here to be beautiful and loving for you. How many know that's your job? I'm just here to be beautiful. All right? Immature love says, I need you. Mature love says, I choose you. Immature love says, make me happy. Mature love says, I bring happiness with me. Don't you love it when somebody comes and they're bringing gifts? Right? I remember with Lee and I, we'd been married for 7 torturous years. First 7 years of our marriage. She came from a certain style family. I came from a certain style family. And it just didn't work too good. So finally we thought, let's go see a counselor. We went to see one. And I thought, well, he's going to straighten her out. So I didn't say that out loud, right, at the time. That's what I was thinking. And come to find out she was thinking the same thing. And he said to me, you have an ideal about how you think she should be. And she can't be that. She can only be who she is. So you know what I did? I absolutely, totally set her free. I said, you be you. Just be who you are. If she brings any gifts to the relationship, fantastic. And she does. Like lasagna. The important stuff. Immature love seeks completion. Mature love celebrates wholeness. So the metaphysical meaning of Harry and Sally. What if Harry and Sally were not merely two people? What if they represent two energies within us? Harry represents the intellect, skepticism, fear, protection. Sally represents feeling, possibility, openness, hope. See, we have both of those voices inside ourselves, don't we? One says, protect yourself. The other says, open your heart. One says, don't get hurt. The other says, trust life. Do you trust life? Do you trust life? Now that you're more mature, because you've been here, 30 minutes? You're more mature than you were when you came in, right? Now you choose to trust life. I'm no longer just a victim. I'm empowered to make the choice, to choose to trust that all my needs are met whenever something happens, my needs will be met. Say it with me. All the time. All the time. And if you can't give it to me, I'll take a day off and go find it myself. I'll go walk in the woods, you know. I'll go talk to the cat or the dog because they won't judge me. In fact, the dog comes up to me and starts licking me and says, "Oh man, I'm so glad you're here. You got a treat?" All right? So the spiritual journey is not choosing the intellect or the emotion side. It's integrating all of it. Because how many know that different people bring different things to the relationship? It's like this group here. All of you bring gifts to this community relationship, don't you? Yeah. Not everybody has to be this or that. You be you. I'll be me. That works pretty good, don't you think? So, there's more I could say, but I think we got it. What do you think? I think we got it. Let's take a moment just to breathe. We're going to get ready for our meditation now. Just want to invite you to relax for a moment. Can you do that? Maybe you've had a stressful week. Maybe you had a stressful morning. Maybe you've had a stressful life. I don't know. But you know what you can do right now? You can breathe. And you can relax. I'm going to turn down the lights. I am healing. I am healing. I am healing with God's love. I am healing every feeling and every cell is filled with love. In this moment, I remember I'm a perfect child of God. I am open to the Spirit, and I am healing with God's love. We are healing. We are healing. Sing it. We are healing with God's love. We are healing every feeling. Every cell is filled with love. And in this moment, I remember that we are a perfect child of God. We are open To the Spirit, we are healing with God's love. We are open to the Spirit. We are healing with God's love. And if you'd like this morning, I invite you to close your eyes. There's something sacred about just closing your eyes, closing out the world, everything around you. It is your quiet place. It's your inner closet. It's that sacred part of you that is eternal, that's real, and it's always there. So take a deep breath. And maybe think to yourself, I am whole and complete in God. I release old stories that no longer serve me. I welcome authentic connection. I see the divine within myself and within every person I meet. I choose love over fear, understanding over judgment, and connection over separation. As I grow in consciousness, my relationships become expressions of wisdom, compassion, and joy. And love flows through me freely and blesses my world, blesses me, blesses others. I am healing with God's love. I am healing. I'm learning the lesson. I can see clearly now, more completely, that I'm already safe. I'm already home. On the inside is everything I need to feel complete. It's just a beautiful feeling. Sometimes I don't feel it, but that's okay. It'll come back. It circulates in and out sometimes. Sometimes we'll doubt ourselves. Hey, that's that human part. That's that intellect trying to assert itself. But that's okay, because I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm becoming more mature in my growth, more accepting of others, accepting of myself. I don't have to give my opinion all the time. It's okay. People can be wrong. People can have their own opinions. It's okay. If you know of someone that you'd like to pray for in this moment, I invite you to bring them into this room with us in your imagination, in your thoughts, in your prayers. Maybe speak their name softly. And say some prayers for them now, blessing them, comforting prayers of grace, peace, kindness, resilience, prosperity, and joy. and safety, security. We affirm all of these beautiful attributes for these lovely souls, these hearts, these lives. We bless all the people around us. Everywhere we go, we bring the light. We bring the gifts that we have, whatever they are. A kindness, a compliment, a word of wisdom, a word of understanding. Maybe sometimes we just bring the quiet, the silence, the healing quiet. So we take all of these things, we take each of us, and we bring all of our needs, desires, and wants together, and we just present them and just release them now into divine hands and trust that everything is working out for our highest good. We believe in a good God. We believe in a world of kindness that works for everybody. Not only do we believe it, but we act like it's true. And we all do our part to make this world the beautiful image and nature of God. So I want to leave you for just a moment in the silence and listen and pay attention to what arises within you. And so as we close our meditation, we close it with gratitude and appreciation for the gift that we receive now into our lives, the gift of peace, the gift of unconditional love, and the great gift of joy. We say thank you, thank you, thank you. In the name of all that is sacred, holy, and beautiful. Amen. So it is. Let's take a breath and just reach and stretch. Alert, awake.